Alright, so we'll start this off. I realize my Photoshop does not show a lot of my... It doesn't show my drop downs. Like, you know, you can see I've clicked here, but for some reason this isn't showing. So we're going to kind of walk and talk through a whole lot of this. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. If you come up into Select and you're going to drop down a few, you'll see Color Range, which also doesn't show you a window, which is more than a little obnoxious. Actually, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to cheat just a little bit. Let's go ahead and grab a monitor capture real fast. Add monitor capture. We'll go center. We want to grab monitor. There we go. And let's go. Come on. You can do it. I promise you can do it. And fit you there. Edit and drag you down there. And drag you to fit. There we go. Drag you up to be in center. There we go. Turn off that guy. Alright. So now you guys can actually see, we'll come back over here, you see the mouse, and if we hit, you see all of this. So yeah, there's two ways you can do this. You can do it with your magic wand, or you can do it with the color range. So you can come down, select, hit your color range. You want to make sure that the fuzziness here is set to 0, so it will grab only the color you grab. And hit your little sample color, and just pick a color anywhere. You can either... the easiest way is to like start in one corner and just kind of work your way across. When you've got something that doesn't like fill the screen, pick a color. So we're going to go ahead and grab what looks to be black. You get a nice little display of what those colors are. You hit hey, and boom, it'll actually highlight all of those. You go through and you're going to cut those pixels out and immediately repaste them. You're going to notice they're kind of all over the place. So you want to go ahead, hit your move, drag it back so that it's about where it belongs. Oops. There you go, up a couple. Come on. And obviously you'll get it back in place. You haven't missed a whole lot, Wheels. And so that's that. So what that does is you come over here and you've got a layer that is just that black. You can turn it on and off and you're good to go. So then we'll turn that off, and like I said, you can also do the same thing with your wand. Because I don't know if you can read, you can't quite read through here, so we're going to you're going to select the fourth little square box here. Make sure that your sample size is point sample. Again, you want your tolerance to 0. Uncheck all 3 of these boxes, and now your happy little magic wand will basically do the same thing as a color selection. Click on it. Special trick. You got to make sure you're actually selecting a layer that has pixels. Now, it selects the next color. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to cut those, paste them in, turn you back on. We're on our other layer. And we'll drag these guys in to fill their spot, and voila, we have Sephiroth. And we're going to go through and do that, and we're just going to break down every color. It is a bit complicated. It gets... it's not really complicated for it, it's just intensive. So yeah, we're going to hit these guys, we'll grab our wand, and we'll grab another color. I like turning everything back on just so I actually have a good...
Accidentally with it?
No, they're just dumping there. God knows why. Now, if you're lucky, and I don't know what's causing it, it should paste it right back where it belongs. For some reason, it's centering them. I'm not sure why. That's a little bit of a pain in the butt. And we just do the same thing. We'll turn everything off. And... select the next color. Cut. Paste.
Cutting. Normally we don't cut.
I always cut. You normally don't cut?
No.
Fair enough.
I do not cut. Copy.
Okay.
Copy, you know exactly, which ones you have and haven't done. Essentially, it creates the same thing. Alright, bye for it!
Have a good one for it.
I saw that, Zarissa! Where's the master layer? Oh, you're just cutting off.
Yeah,
the layer
I'm
that
cutting
way,
off the
yeah.
layer that way. I know I've got nothing left. So Mog does it does it a little differently. And I can see what that'll do is she'll leave a master layer, and I'll throw that back down so we have an option. But it'll leave her just the full image to turn on and turn off. So she turns it off, and you can see a white space. Turn it back on, and you know that's the color you need to select.
Yeah, normally you have to zoom in a lot closer than he is. Normally you zoom in down until the panel fills the entire screen. That way you can't possibly miss the fact when you flick the big layer on and off that it's out there.
The easiest way I have found, since I do the cutting, is if you look up here in the top corner, you've got a pretty obvious chunk of pixels that have to fit in one place. So you kind of line those up here. We're in perfect line below, so then we just move up, and boom.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
all.
deal with this shit. I would never deal with the possibility that I put the layer back in the wrong spot.
I can understand that.
Also, you might want to point out that, your Magic Wand settings are not stock settings.
I did walk through how to set up our magic wand so that it does literally a color range selection, which...
But yes, I do copy paste.
So yeah, I can actually see the sense in what Mog is talking about, because she's right. It will paste it directly back where it goes, so you don't have to do a whole lot of turning off all of these individual layers. Now there is one thing we can do to shorten this, is we're going to come down here and we're going to create a group. And you grab all of your other layers and dump them into the group. So I can turn off everything that has been grabbed. So we turn off all the layers we've already cut, and come down here and we'll grab you. Keep forgetting to grab my move tool. And there we are. I'm gonna drag you, throw you up into the group. And
I would never deal with this shit. The pixels command didn't work.
Pixels is not working. Okay. Have any commands work today? Because obviously the bot is here. Alright.
Staring at it's not gonna help.
What do we got going on here? Let's bot login. Okay, so the trade command worked. And somehow the pixels command is gone. Okay. Torko, how you doing? Good evening, Autumn. Joker. Too quieter. BB, are you still around? While we, hunt down the elusive BB, I will grab these last few layers. What should you paint, Zarissa? Yeah, no, there's another event coming. Fantastic. How did you? I forgot how you finished up on the last one. You're doing the Metal Gear Rising run. How's that one? We're doing all right on this end. We had some fun screwing around yesterday with some World of Warships. I believe you go there. There we go. A lot of chokes. Of course it is. Oh, that's a rough chunk of cash there, Joker. I was on the road with your dad to get it fixed. Ouch. That's painful. Alright, so we've got a couple of colors left. We grab our last layer. Throw him up there. Turn that off. So like the last couple of colors. This is the part that gets a little annoying. As you start getting down to like the colors that literally have like 1 or 2 pixels. Gets a little obnoxious at times. Bedroom has to be immaculate, otherwise I'm not allowed new mattress. This is gonna be rough. Yeah, that's not gonna be... I would focus on that one, Autumn. Spend the time. You gotta do it once. That's it. You've got to impress just once. Julia, how are you? I could do layer via cut. You're right, Pangu. I'm being a dork there too. So yeah, that's also an option. So apparently I take the hard way. And we will, refine this and save some time. Let's, alright, where are we at? Grab those, and layer via cut, because I'm a complete nub. There we go. We'll grab our last one. Although it's already on a layer, and so there's that. Just do it, Autumn. You do it once. It'll also put her in a good mood, so that'll help. Oh, that sucks, Wheels. You should junk your car, but I also need you to pay me for the work I didn't do. Fuck you. Not a chance happening on that. So yeah, that's gonna be that's the first part of it. Then you go through, and I will actually come through here and start adding in, and I will label each layer according to what color it is. So we're gonna come down here. We turn it off and on, we figure, alright, that's his eyeball. We're going to do this in some parrot green. Only 2 E's in green there, Cloud. And then what do we got down here? One of your best tools when doing this is going to be, go ahead, grab your little eyedropper. Because this guy is going to give you your best. That's a good idea, Autumn. That's a really good idea. This will give you kind of your best idea of what the color actually is, so that you can, make a good choice. So we've got 3 tones that are being used for flesh. This one is actually more in the range of brown. So we're actually going to use the PP light brown on this one. So what layer is that? No. There we go. So PP light brown. This one is going to be Hama Flesh. And this one, what are we going to use? Ooh, that's an even darker. There we go. That's you. What do we think? Should we use like the S18, I believe? Yeah. Alright, so we're going to call you S18. And this one is actually darker. I'm thinking we can get away with probably a chocolate brown. So... And while, yes, this is... it does take a little time. It's a little, a little longer and a little messier. It will pay it forward. You will spend less time doing this than you will trying to hunt and peck and guess where all of the pixels and beads and colors go. Ooh. Yeah, it's really only necessary on some of the builds that are fairly complex, like this one, where you have, individual colors just scattered everywhere. If it starts to get a little easier and just more large blocks of color, those you can get away without having to do this. I'm gonna say that's gonna be our PP Light Gray.
And we also chose a really small build to do this on.
He's totally going to be about 2200 pixels. So he's not super, super massive, but it's going to be...
but it's a good idea of the workflow we normally use.
All right, and so at this point, so now we're getting on into the various grays, and I kind of did it in a order of darkness. So we're going to start here. We've got the blacks and the dark grays, and if you can kind of get a good order going on that way, you can literally stop and say, okay, here's my darkest, here's my lightest, here's how many gray tones I have, and go. So in this case, I can literally come down here and say, all right, this one's here.
This is Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. This is his Final Fantasy Record Keeper rendition. I'm so sorry, Jules.
Oh, that's not fun, Jules. Yes, Julia. Mog is absolutely correct. Well, we should, we'll be done with the pixel art of this fairly fast, Autumn.
Yeah, this guy is small, and that was the whole point. People had just been asking, what process we have for larger builds, and this is it.
So yeah, we're going to come up here, and we're literally just going to call, this is going to be black. This is probably going to be my 69. Yeah.
Julia, he's in Kingdom Hearts. He's the secret boss.
He is, yeah.
But he's from Final Fantasy VII. Don't worry, Autumn. I promise we'll do something like this again.
This is going to be Perler Dark Gray. Do we go Hama or do we go with the 43? I'm thinking 43.
There's a case to be made for Hama Dark Gray. It depends on how many ones we have to go.
2.
Then yeah, we can make it just fine.
Got the S43. This one.
Hama Light Gray. Or Perler Gray and Hama Light Gray.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go Perler Gray, and then we have 3 left. So we want to take all 3. We're gonna go Hama Gray, Perler Gray.
And that's why you do this, because sometimes, a lot of times in these, they put more colors than you actually have available. So by labeling them darkest to lightest, you can decide what colors you need to combine in order to make it work. How many colors you can afford to spread it across.
So in this case, we've got enough grays. I didn't have to do any combines. But if you're working with just the Perlers, you've got black, dark gray, and gray, and then white. So you've got 3 grays to try and do. Well, you probably wouldn't want to try and do an image like this.
No.
You'd have to be doing some very interesting color replacements. But if I say I didn't have the S69, which is my dark gray, it's almost black, I would consider coming over here, taking the layer that is the S69, and merging it with the black and calling all of that black.
Or merging it with the Perler Dark Gray, which is its next closest.
You've got in this case, she's right. I would go merge this layer, which is the darkest, with this one, which is just barely lighter. I mean, you can come here and see on our color picker, it's that color to that color. It's not.
You can see the sliders move, and that's really what you want to look at: is how far do the sliders go a sliding? They're always going to go a sliding, but if it's not a big drastic movement, then you can get away with combines. And eventually, at some point, you have to combine because you have so many colors.
Now, the second advantage to doing this is this. Is when we go build. Is we're going to start, and we're going to turn everything off, but whatever layer you want to start with. In this case,
layer we're working with.
I'm going to start with black. Now, we turn on our panels, and you have your perfect layout of just the color you're working with, on your panel layout. So you can throw it down, lay it out, and then once we finish all the black, we'll turn on the S69, and we'll do that. And now we have just, and it
How
gets
you just
bigger
slowly building back
and bigger, and you slowly get the whole picture. So, I mean, it's that simple, and it took us about 20 minutes to do a little guy here, and we've got, what did we end up with? 13 layers, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 layers. Took about 20 minutes.
To be fair, we just did